regional municipality of Wood Buffalo is home to a large First Nation and Métis contingent, and many of those people call Fort McMurray home. But what about those who live outside of the city proper and rely on the land for their survival? Well, many of those also lost their way of life as a result of the wildfire. To tell their story, here's Bridget Ryan.
Nestled deep in the bush across the frozen Snai River and just 10 minutes from downtown Fort McMurray lies a log cabin.
So one thing my dad always told me, he said the first thing you do is you build a fire. Anything you're doing, if you're going trapping or if you're skinning a moose or something, so you go build a fire first thing.
Destiny is a third-generation Métis trapper with a trap line 6 townships long, and this cabin, her family cabin, was built with loving hands. Her father's hands, in 1981.
Like if you look outside there, they can see handprints up on the boards there from when they were building it.
You can see what?
You can see his fingerprints up on the 2x4s there. I'll give you a shot after.
Richard Goloski died a few days before the wildfire forced everyone to flee Fort McMurray. A local funeral home evacuated his body and they were reunited in Edmonton. Destiny waited for word on the cabin.
I didn't want to know if the cabin was burnt down or not, so I sent my brother out to come and check. And then he phoned me right away, and he was almost in tears. He said, "No, it's still standing," he said, right? So it was good.
But the wildfire did rage its damage. Trap lines burned. Animals disappeared. Some trees in the bush are blackened, dead.
I don't know if the quad blew up or if it blew the doors off, that's for sure.
Normally, Destiny would set traps on her land to catch various animals and sell their fur at auction. But not this winter. There are no animals.
The Métis have a village. Well, I guess the verb tense is wrong there. It's gone.
The McMurray Métis office burned to ash.
This truck, these canoes.
David Waniandi is the McMurray Métis traditional land specialist and trapper liaison.
It might have been really nice in the old days. If a fire goes through, it'll take maybe about 4 or 5 years for it to come back and replenish itself. But nowadays, within industry, the way that they cut off the migration routes and everything like that, I would say it's going to take a lot longer.
The McMurray Métis have plans to rebuild. They recently purchased these trailers as temporary office sites.
We hope that this summer we're able to do some tree planting, get the tree line reestablished here, and we do plan on having this property for ourselves at some point, and long-term plans to purchase it. And we want to green it up and fix it up and do some things with it that we weren't able to do in the past, now that we've got a little bit of a reset.
And a martin or a fisher or even a link would come in, and then you catch them.
Others want to rebuild as well. Darren Bork's family has been trapping for 100 years.
There was our shed, and we had another shed there. It was a gas shed, and this is where the cabin was. Beautiful little log cabin. That fire got all of this though. As you could see, the trees are all over the place. I'll have to recut all my lines, all my screw trails. I'll have to recut all those. I haven't even started or even thought of it right now, actually.
Despite the hardships since the fire, there's a passion among the Métis.
When we were driving in there, it says private property, Fred Burke. That was my father's sign, and all the trees are black around it, everything burnt except that sign. The paint didn't even peel off it, so that's pretty emotional. That's a sacred spot for me now. We're gonna rebuild here, start all over again.
It's a good spot for moose. Definitely a good spot for moose. She hear my daughter, she knows how to call moose. She called out a moose there last year, I think it was. Yeah, I had them both calling, him and her, like my son was doing the bull call and she was doing the cow. And, we were like 5 minutes later, that moose called back. It's definitely a way of life, and it's good to keep the tradition going, like to keep it alive so it doesn't die down.
And onward. passed from father to daughter, mother to daughter, and father to son.
I would like to thank the owner of the Riverbank Golf Course in Wandering River and all the people of Wandering River. Wandering River is very small, but man, they were there for us.